the country, but a couple of years ago they beat number 1 seed Purdue in the middle of March in all of that madness. We're losing to FAU at a heck of a tournament run themselves. Glad to have you with us on this Monday night for what should be a tight one here at the Jones Convocation Center. Matthew Robinson with the basketball. Did score fouled out back on Saturday. Cougars team, you feel like could really use a hot start like they had Saturday. This is the last of 3 straight at home for Chicago State after they played exclusively on the road for just about 2 months. And a quick trigger 3 on the first possession, and it's one and done as Davis Cox, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, can't hit. Walk on in this starting 5. That was something really that Coach Spinelli emphasized to me earlier today. The journey that Davis Cox has been on, the Christian Brothers transfer, but you got to remember, when he came out of high school, he was a football player going to play for the Racers at Murray State. So he's had a heck of a journey, now consistently in this starting 5. On this side, this is the highest scoring team in the NEC in these nights at 6-13, 2-2 in conference play. They moved the basketball so well. But there's a strip and a steal from Gabe Spinelli. 12 steals last time out for Chicago State in that convincing win on Saturday. They really welcomed back one of the coach's sons, Gabe Spinelli, into that starting rotation. He had 5 steals that tied him for a season high. Misses the layup here. Good contest. And a chance for a run out the other way. Brown's first attempt in his return, and he cans a corner 3. 46% shooter from the field, 21.4 points per game. Did not feature last time out. Game in which FDU at home lost to Central Connecticut State by double digits. Their biggest lead that day was just 1 point. Trailed by as many as 19 in that loss, trying to end a 2-game skid. Top of the key 3 for Forrest. Left it a little short, tip in, no good. Second try. And Delancey missed a couple bunnies right at the rim. Forrest coming off his best game maybe of his career. There's a nice little turnaround, but well too strong for Tyree Barmy-Bay, the grad student from Piscataway, New Jersey. It's an FDU side that's second in the conference at 3-point percentage, and they're first in defending the 3 on this end. So much of what they do well comes around the perimeter. There's a good find from Spinelli, mid-range jumper, no good, off the mark to the left. It's been a sluggish start for the Cougars offensively. Brown takes it all the way. It's swatted with 2 hands. Delancey gets the rejection on a 2-on-1 breakaway. They've really picked it up on the defensive side, these Cougars. That was an emphasis Saturday, and there's the 3 to tie things up. Jaywood Forrest, just a natural scorer, as described by his head coach. So whistle, I think this was just a little warning to a couple of guys getting after it. 2-on-1, Brown keeps it himself, and why not? He's one of the best scorers in the country, but boy, all over it defensively with that rejection right into the backboard. So Chicago State finally on the board, and we only have 2 made field goals combined in this game. 2.5 minutes to change in. Ball pressure has been a huge point of emphasis. It's Saturday for the Cougars defensively, and FDU a little out of sorts, but a great strong drive to the cup and the finish. Barmy-Bay with the left hand. What a great take from a fearless grad student. The Jefferson transfer, one of 2 Jefferson transfers, a D2 program. Him and Nasiah came over. Both them playing their first year with the Knights. 3 no good. Right to loose ball picked up by Brown. These teams are last and second to last in the NEC in defensive rebounding, so that offensive glass could really pay dividends and be a contributing factor to who's going to pull off the W today. There's a quick little shot in the lane. A lot of contact, no foul. Dylan Jones, his first shot is off the mark. Another good find for Terrence Brown, though. Crossover, drive, and a finish. Jaylen Forrest is a man possessed these days. He's got the team's first 5 points. 24 points last time out. That was a season high. It eclipses prior season high by a full 10 points. And a season-long 37 minutes on the floor as well. Great hands defensively. C.J. Delancey got a piece of it. It's another steal for Chicago State. Saxby Sunderland into the game. Can always take it to the rim, but he's swatted away. Bismarck Nasiah had 122 blocks over his last 4 years. There's a big rejection here. It's all about the defense here early. First media break, just a 5-5 game here in Chicago.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand.
Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for two.
Running her down. Running her, twirling through traffic. Wow.
Bounces down low to Caroma. Position, two-handed slam.
Williams has to put it up.
Oh!
He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left. To Blunt, looking for the three. Got it! Puts it on the deck and send it in. Miles Webb.
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in.
Bobosi on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Well, it's a 5-5 start here on the south side of Chicago. It has been a block party on both ends early on. Bismarck Nasiah rejected that one all the way out of bounds. He had the second being blocked. We saw it on the other end with Terrence Brown was rejected at the rim. Scott Spinelli was able to chat with him prior to tip-off today. Such a great guy to be leading and guiding this program. First year at the helm here with Chicago State, but was a former assistant with this team, longtime assistant with Boston College, also spent some time at College Station at Texas A&M. He's got great experience, and boy, Jalen Forrest going to work. He's got the team's first 7. Chicago State has the lead. Just a 3 of 10 start from the field for the Cougars here at home. The defense has really ratcheted up. Cameron Tweedy into the game for FTU, and there's a foul. That'll be away from the ball. I believe they got Saxby Sunderland bumping to Cutter underneath the rim. That is against Sunderland. It's his first, the team's first. The first foul in the game altogether. Haven't had too many whistles. FDU, a team that averages over 77 points per game. Lost back-to-back home games. Brown rejected away again. Dallas Cox. Brown has been turned away at the rim twice already. 1 for 3 start. Both misses, haven't had a chance. Cox at 6'6", but a great rim protector, even though he's a little undersized. He's got ups. Emmanuel trying to turn the corner, kicks it out. Braden Reynolds, that's off the heel, but kept alive. Tweedy, second chance, no good, but no head to the free throw line. First free throw attempts for either side today, and they'll come via the senior from Waldorf, Maryland. The State Fair transfer came over from the JUCO ranks in his 3rd year with FTU. And that's Saxby Sunderland again. So that should be his second as he prepares to check back out. Just a short run for the junior from Arlington, Virginia, who's really one of the better drivers on this Chicago State roster. Something they really lacked, especially in that Stonehill game when they lost here by 16. That was 8 days ago. And missed them both, kept alive. It ends up with Tweedy. Credit to Emmanuel, who got a hand on that, kept it alive. Shot clock reset all the way to 30, though, and I think that's why we have the whistle. There's Jack Castleberry at his 2nd year. He was an assistant for that legendary side and legendary win when the Knights beat the what seed Purdue Boilermakers 63-58 back in 2023. It's the second 16th seed to ever win a game in March Madness on the men's side before they lost to the Owls in Florida Atlantic. Two for 7 start from the floor for FDU. 1 of 2 from distance, though. Brown trying to dribble past Spinelli, shuffles his feet, but a rate-shoot foul. And that's going to be the 3rd foul in a very small window here for the Cougars. And coming from their very active guards as well, it's Sunderland and it's Spinelli. Great defense, though. It's taken away by Cox. The look up ahead and a layup for Jalen Forrest. He's got the team's first 9 points here today. Coming off a season-high 24, and he is on pace to race past that mark. Reynolds got stopped. Back to the bucket, trying to find Brown. Good defense here. Hands all over the basketball. It's another turnover. FDU only had 9 turnovers. They were +2 last time out. Leads to an open 3, but it swirls around it out for Crawford, but it'll stay right here. FDU was +2 in the turnover department. They were +7 on the offensive glass. It's Saturday's loss at home for Central Connecticut State, but they shot under 32% for the game. Made 10 threes, but lost by double digits. Barba Bay was their leader with 25 points in a game that did not feature Terrence Brown. Crawford skips it out. 3 ball on the way from Robinson, too strong. But another chance. This will be the 3rd shot, should they get one, on this possession. Spinelli driving off balance and fouled on the floor. That'll be the first foul whistled against Fairleigh Dickinson. 6-0 run for the Cougars. No points in just about the last 3 minutes now for FDU. Ball pressure, big point of emphasis. Same with getting paint touches, especially coming through. As here's a whistle away from the ball, and this is a clock issue. Getting Gabe Spinelli back, who not only had 14 points, but 7 assists. That was his season high to go with that season high, tying 5 steals. He was so crucial for this team. He's massive out there on the floor on both ends because he ramps up the ball pressure, and he's maybe the best on this team at getting the ball into the paint and then kicking it out. They want to work it side out, is CSU. It's a tough angle on the pass to Crawford. Great skip, though, leads to an open look. And another 3 to round it out. And a whistle to foul in the backcourt against Noble Crawford. That's his first. Troy McCoy Jr. rejected, the freshman from Windsor, Connecticut, who had missed that 3. Bounces around between wearing 1 and number 21. And another turnover. Brown hits the deck. Numbers out in transition for Chicago State. Great contest, but a friendly roll. Troy McCoy Jr., the freshman, going right to the cup. It's an 8-0 run for CSU. That was a great job of transition defense, going straight up, contesting the layup, but it fell down. Terrence Brown with the crossover. He might have gotten hit there, but we play on. Chicago State bench is fired up right now. Emmanuel gets to the elbow, bounces it inside. ISO ball here for Brown, driving baseline, bounce pass, and it hit the baseline. Another turnover. That's number 6. 6 turnovers to none. Already +6 at points and in the turnover battle. This is as fiery and as energized as Chicago State's looked all year. And they're coming off their best performance of the season. Cox will check out. Delancey back in. 8-0 run. 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for the visitors. They have looked just completely disjointed. Spinelli driving. Trying to get that paint touch. Gets it at the free throw line, was working on Jameel Morris, the sophomore. Trying to skip by Morris all the way to the rim. Off the heel, though. Kind of in between, going off the backboard and not. Manuel with a nasty crossover. Gets down low, turns around, and hits the little mid-range jumper. Joel Emanuel, the junior from Suffern, New York. Last year versus CSU, he had 12 points and 6 offensive rebounds. That was a meeting, the first ever, played over at Hackensack, New Jersey, won by the Cougars 75-74, like on January 10th of last year. Coy Jr. elbow jumper too strong. Josiah plucks it out of the air. Finally, some offense here for FDU. Brown lost it for his second. And turns it over. Crawford, it's 1-on-3. Trying to weave right through, had to take it away. Bismarck Nisaya, great hands defensively. End to end we go. Brown with a great bounce pass all the way across. Morris is wide open, teed up the three. Nisaya keeps it alive. Now it's Brown himself. Top of the key straight away, and he cans the three. Just like that, it's a 1-point game. Brown's got 6 of his team's first 10. Didn't get an assist, but Terrence Brown, that might have been the find of the night, driving baseline. Instead of skipping it to the corner, bounce pass to the opposite wing. That was nasty. And results in a 3 on his second chance. It's CSU by 1 point as we reach the under 12 media timeout here at the Jones Convocation Center.
Everybody, I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. LIU's Malachi Davis is the NEC Player of the Week for the second time this season. His 27-point outburst on 12 of 18 shooting turned back Stonehill. He nailed 53% from the field over 2 games. The Rookie of the Week is Jeremy Clayville of St. Francis. The freshman averaged 15 points and more than 4 assists over 2 victories. He also hit on 43% from downtown. On the women's side, Player of the Week honors for the second time go to CCSU's Belle Lanford. She put up a career-high 37 points with 9 rebounds to lead a comeback win over Wagner. This after going for 25 and 11 to stop LIU. Chicago State's Ayanna Culver goes back-to-back with the Rookie Award. The freshman had 16 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists against Stonehill. Catch free live conference action on NECFrontRow.com, and remember to follow the season on X and NEC Sports and the web at northeastconference.org.
Talk about a kid who's really blossomed and grown from his freshman year to his sophomore campaign. One of the best scorers in the country at Terrence Brown. He was on the NEC All-Rookie team last year when he averaged just under 8 points a game. He's at just about 21.5 points per tilt. Even the 24-25 season, a welcome sight back, not only in the starting 5, but just in this rotation in general after he missed the last game. He's come back. He's got 6 of his team's first 10 points. Does have 3 turnovers, but he's 2 of 2 from distance. He's got both threes for a team that makes just about 9 threes per game. Second in the NEC, trailing just Stonehill. So they figured it out a bit on the offensive end, have the Knights, and they've kept Chicago State without a point here over the last 2 minutes plus. Robinson off the screen. Ends the drought right here with a nice 3. Matthew Robinson with his first bucket. Didn't score, fouled out in his last game at his season low, 19 minutes on Saturday. Morris skips it across. Noah Jones, the best three-point shooter percentage-wise and volume of makes-wise in the NEC. As Brown hits the deck, he's fouled. Looks like that'll go against Noble Crawford. That'll be his second. Always got to be wary of Brown when he's got the basketball. He's fearless, driving it pretty much 4 gray jerseys. That's foul number 5 against CSU. Just 2 so far against the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson. So Crawford checks out. Troy McCoy Jr. back in. Quincy Allen also coming in for the first time. 6'8" junior who returned a couple of games ago. And a tie-up and a jump ball. How about that? Troy McCoy Jr. checks in and within legitimately 1 second makes a nice play defensively. Possession arrow will keep it right here, though. Shot clock at 18. The deficit is 4. Nisaya, fortunate. That's not a turnover. Matthew Robinson, the junior. Transfer from Florida National, an NAIA squad. He came out a little worse for the wear there. But the defense has looked as good as it has all season long for the Cougars here so far this evening. Isaiah with the backdoor feed. Barber-Bay hasn't gotten going yet today. And this is going to be another turnover. The 8th already in just over 9 minutes. Chicago State's got just 1 turnover. I mean, if you're FDU, you got to feel like just looking at the numbers, fortunate the deficit is just 4 points right now. Chicago State has 8 more field goal attempts with their shooting just 33%, 6 of 18. McCoy waits with his screen, kicks it into the corner. Work it back around, shot fake, goes up with it anyways. Strong rebound there from Joel Emmanuel. Brown all the way in, works it to a wide open Isaiah. Tracking it down. Nicely done by Jaywood Forrest, who's doing everything here today. McCoy going right to the cup with the left-hand finish off the window. The freshman from Windsor, Connecticut. 10 points in 15 minutes. That was his highest so far in NEC action. His point total has increased in each conference game over the last 4. Brown wide open, defender hit the deck, but it's off the heel, no good. How about that fight for the board? CJ Delancey rips it away. His 4th rebound in 7 minutes. Forrest, a little bit of an arm bar there. Pulled back the reins. Slow down the attack here. So many off-ball screens and great hands there to rip it away for Brown. Euro step and the finish with the foul. Oh, that's pretty, Terrence Brown. Doesn't matter how many guys got back defensively. He just squeezes right through him, gets the layup, and a chance for the three-point play. Just a sound, fundamental play on both ends for Terrence Brown. One of the best free throw shooters in the conference, too, and he misses his first of the day. Over 81.5%. He's 6th in the conference. Entered today 84 of 103. Talk about the volume. That's going to go against CJ Delancey. The Long Island transfer will hit the bench after he picks up the foul. That's his first. Team's 7th. So now it'll be free throws the rest of the way in this first half for FDU. Brown's got 2/3 of the night's points here tonight. He's got 8. Already a couple of triples as well. Home crowd and CSU bench wanted to travel there. Brown has it poked away by Spinelli. Hits the floor to keep it alive, but he slides out of play. That was nearly the 4th turnover already for Terrence Brown. And Scott Spinelli described his son Gabe as an elite on-ball defender. He felt very confident between Sunderland and Gabe that they would be able to defend Terrence Brown quite well. That's been the case, certainly. Mismatch here, though. Isaiah working on Spinelli, turns and faces, kisses it off the window. But it's going to be a shot clock violation before the bucket. Gabe Spinelli held his ground just long enough. Bismarck Isaiah with his back to the bucket. Got the bucket, but just barely not in the nick of time. And it's CSU by 4 as we hit another media break.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand.
Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for 2.
Running her down. Renninger twirling through traffic.
Wow. Bounces down low to Caroma. Position, 2-handed slam.
Williams has to put it up. Oh! He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left. To Blunt, looking for the 3. Got it! Puts it on the deck and send it in. Miles Webb.
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in.
Bobosi on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Today, the Northeast Conference commemorates the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King's legacy serves to remind us that progress in racial equality cannot be reached from our comfort zones. The NEC echoes Dr. King's words, quote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," end quote. To carry on his legacy, the conference encourages NEC student athletes, coaches, and fans to speak up and share their unique stories of bringing about change through activism and advocacy. Well, back here in Chicago, it was not the under-8 media break. That was by fault. They are reviewing to see whether or not that shot was off in time. And well, they called it a shot clock violation on the floor, and that call will be upheld upon further review. So it remains 16-12 in favor of the home team. There's the explanation coming over to Jack Castleberry. They had the mismatch, but couldn't get the shot up in time. Turnovers have plagued FDU. They have 9 already, nearly their total from Saturday's loss. Spinelli trying to work it inside. Coming out with the zone defense look here from the Knights after the timeout. 3 no good for McCoy. Tracked out, kept alive. I think Cox has been everywhere on the glass, it feels like. McCoy thought about the 3. Shot clock down to 10. Jalen Forrest will pull the trigger. Chance to get it down to 1 possession here. Barber Bay off the dribble handoff. Hasn't gotten going yet today. Just 2 points after he put up 25 last game. That barely grazes the rim. Scoring, he's really slowed down on both ends. No points in the last 2:15 for the Cougars. What can they do against this zone look? Trying to work the ball into the interior. But it's just going around the outside right now. Shot clock again down to 10. Haven't had anything resembling a paint touch. Spinelli works it back out to the logo. Kicks it out, 3 ball on the way. That's just an empty possession in every way, shape, and form. Jones has been shut down on this end. He's just 0 of 1 from the field. Hasn't scored yet. Messiah gets to the free throw line. Good find. And the soft finish from Braden Reynolds. Two-point game, 6:45 to go in this opening half. Jaywood Forrest combined with Gabe Spinelli. They work so well off each other. Behind the back dribble. Great little pocket pass. Allen spinning, floating, and hitting. Spinelli and Forrest, that combination had a field day against Lemoyne defensively and especially even on the offensive end on Saturday. Emmanuel trying to turn the corner, gets doubled. Had to pick up his dribble, back out. Barber Bay still looking for that first 3. Tyree Barber Bay, 4th in the conference with 38 made threes. Hit 7 last game. That wasn't even a season high. He was 8 of 9 from distance back in December on the road at Boston College. Cox lines up the 3, and that's well too strong. Only drew backboard. At the look you're going for. Cox just 1 of 8 from distance, but that's going to go the other way. There's the charge. Forrest just looked like he took an elbow that grazed his nose from Tyree Barber Bay. That's Barber Bay's first foul. Slow start for both offenses, but it's Chicago State still with the lead.
Everybody, I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. LIU's Malachi Davis is the NEC Player of the Week for the second time this season. His 27-point outburst on 12 of 18 shooting turned back Stonehill. He nailed 53% from the field over 2 games. The Rookie of the Week is Jeremy Clayville of St. Francis. The freshman averaged 15 points and more than 4 assists over 2 victories. He also hit on 43% from downtown. On the women's side, Player of the Week honors for the second time go to CCSU's Belle Lanford. She put up a career-high 37 points with 9 rebounds to lead a comeback win over Wagner. This after going for 25-11 to stop LIU. Chicago State's Ayanna Culver goes back-to-back with the Rookie Award. The freshman had 16 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists against Stonehill. Catch free live conference action on NECFrontRow.com, and remember to follow the season on X at NEC Sports, on the web at NortheastConference.org.
Well, Scott Spinelli was emphasizing that this team really faced a daunting and rigorous schedule, especially back in November where they were playing, it felt like, for a lengthy stretch just about every other day on the road, a lot of travels. And he was proud of this team, even though they didn't pick up a win until January, with some efforts that they had, kept things close for a while up in Madtown against Wisconsin. Liked some efforts he saw, just didn't close things out. He has really emphasized accountability being everything with this side, especially with so many new players fitting into the fold here, trying to figure out how the pieces work together. Just a little bit of a patchwork effort, trying to figure out who are going to be the key guys and the starters, who are going to be contributors off the bench in November and December. But they feel like they figured things out. But accountability, trying to make sure these guys, these youngsters, are being held accountable for what they do on the floor, what they do at practice, what they do when they're in the film room. Going to make sure that even if you take a couple of steps back, it ends with a few steps forward. And after the timeout, it's rounded out for Jalen Forrest, who slowed down a bit. He's still got 9 points, though, on 4 of 7 shooting. Game that's featured just 32 total points. We don't have a made free throw yet. FDU has all the attempts. They're 0 of 3. Look inside to Emmanuel with the two-handed flush. Cuts the deficit at half. He's 2 of 2 from the floor with 5 rebounds. And has been out there the whole time, too. 15 minutes already played. Picking it up on both sides now. Brown got a piece of that, stays right here. Just a great set. First offensive possession after the break. Momentum certainly up in the air in this game. The Knights are shooting over 40%. 7 of 17, but 9 fewer shots. They're being beaten on the offensive glass, and they're -7 in the turnover department, and that's been massive. Cox got fronted. McCoy gets his man in the air, gets into the lane, rejected away. Right as the shot clock horn sounds, Bismarck Nisaya with another rejection, his second. McCoy got his man in the air. That was Nisaya, but how about the recovery speed? That's what that kind of length and bounce will get you. And a timeout after the trap. It's on the plus side of half court. 4:30 to go. So the Cougars just won of their last 7. Jack Castleberry's side trying to end this 2-game losing streak. Trying to move to 3-0 in the NEC in road games. Got a road game here today. They're back on the road on Sunday at Stonehill as well. In a matchup of the 2 best 3-point shooting teams in the Northeastern Conference. Chicago State, we noted last week just how long they had been on the road. Didn't play a home game in December. Didn't play here in front of the home faithful for just about 2 months. Well, now they are trying to cap off a 3-game homestand by going 2-1 here. Lost to Stonehill 68-52, then blew out Lemoyne 88-72. And this on paper looked like a game that was going to be played in the low 70s, but 18-16 with just 4:30 left in this first half. Double-digit turnovers for the Knights have really not only kept Chicago staying in it, but that's been a major catalyst for why the Cougars have held on to this lead for so long, even though they haven't been able to expand it. Largest lead was 6. It was 16-10. That was at the 10:05 mark. FDU hasn't led since it was 5-3. It was less than 3 minutes in. But they could snatch the lead right back with a 3 here. Team that averages 8.9 triples a game. They've got 2 so far. Brown leading the Knights with 8 points. He gets stuck out near midcourt. Shot clock under 8. Trying to get it into the interior. Brown got doubled, got walled off. Somehow able to find Barber Bay. Contested 3. And Emmanuel's right there to clean it up. Massive offensive rebound. Boy, he came out of nowhere. Just like that, we're level, 18 apiece. Emmanuel 5 boards now. Or rather, with that one, he's got 6 boards and 6 points. Just a great effort. Nobody picked him up at the top of the key. Just raced to the cup, picked up the rebound, put it right back up and in. No points in 2.5 minutes for CSU. Davis Cox, a little funky Euro step. That was a tough shot. Rips away the rebound, gets it back. Robinson with the corner pocket triple. That's a big-time 3 for Matthew Robinson Jr. His second triple of the day. He's got 6. Rebuttal. He's no good. As now it's Robinson picking up the rebound. It's a rare look for Dylan Jones. Elbow jumper. Warriors still stuck on 9 points. Terrence Brown knifing his way. And off balance, back across the grain with a nice little float shot. And a timeout called by CSU. Jalen Forrest a little worried about not being able to get that in. The lead and 1. Forrest making his 10th straight start. The Presbyterian transfer, who not only had that season at 24 points last game, also had 8 rebounds. Good crowd on hand on a Monday night in which, I mean, let's face it, you got plenty of viewing options today, so we're thrilled to have you with us with the national championship going on between Notre Dame and Ohio State down in the ATL. But FDU has ahead. Chicago State also hits their road travels. They're at Stonehill and at Central Connecticut State, their next 2 matchups. It's already been a wild day in the NEC. There's 4 games. 2 of them happened in the middle of the day. Wagner won in double overtime, 70-68 for St. Francis. And Long Island won by 9, 72-63 versus Mercyhurst. That game only went to 1 OT. So 2 games, 3 combined overtimes already in the NEC today. And we took the same time right here in Chicago as Stonehill did at Lemoyne out east. Winner of this game right here, right now, moves into a tie for second in the NEC standings. Everybody looking up at 6-0 Long Island. Into the corner, Sunderland. Left that short. And Jameel Morris picks up his first rebound of the day. Really his first stat of the day. He's only been out there for 3+ minutes. Brown got stuck, walled off, and he walked with it. That's his 4th turnover. Incredulous, put his hands over his head, but more sound defending. 11 turnovers, that's matched their total in terms of their average on the season. But unable to regain the lead. Had a chance there. High arc kick 3 off the heel for Matthew Robinson Jr. Another chance to take the lead. Morris puts it on the deck. Trying to squeeze his way into the lane. Ishaya, open look for Morris, who splashes the 3. Knights ahead for the first time since the 17-minute mark of this half. They've gone on a mini run here. It's been defense turning into offense. Cougars just won for their last 8 from the floor. Saxby Sunderland. Shot clock dwindling down to 5 already. Forrest has to go all the way to the cup, hangs in the air. More sound defending from Desaya. Great look ahead. Brown hangs in the air and gets the layup to go. He's got 12 points. FDU really close it out this first half well on the road. Sunderland well off the mark, and that's a push in the back and a foul against Delancey. That'll be his second. That was an easy call, just 2 hands into the back. 7-0 run over the last 100 seconds for FDU. And that's a big foul because it's number 2 against Delancey, and it's free throws on the other end. Chicago State in a home conference game without a free throw attempt in the first half. FDU is 0 for 3. And they will send Joel Emmanuel to the stripe, who has really struggled here this year. 56% shooter from the charity stripe. And he makes the first. He's 41 of 73 on the season. Went off a 13.7 rebound game. Got 13 points at least in 3 straight. Getting to the line a ton as well. 29 free throw attempts over his last 3 games coming in, even though he's only made 20 of those. He's getting there and will. Most of his looks have been coming at the rim. And that said, he's a pretty solid 3-point shooter. Biggest lead of the night for FDU. Crawford thought about the 3. Step back, hesitation. Delancey with the elbow jumper and gets the home bounce. Didn't look pretty, but it falls nevertheless. And now Fairleigh Dickinson can hold for the last shot. Shot clock has gone dark. Knights in the bonus. Up by 4. Trailed by as many as 6. What could Brown do right here? Trying to get by Spinelli. Tough contested shot, put back, no good. And that is how the half will come to a close. He's marking Desaya, palms towards the sky. He thought he got fouled on that putback attempt. Fairleigh Dickinson by 4. It's halftime here in Chicago. Ball into the post, either with the post up or with that dribble penetration. That's kind of been taken away down the stretch of the first half. So how do they respond now trailing by 4 points, even though they led the majority of that first half? Fairleigh Dickinson has had the lead for less than 4 minutes through the first 20, but they will start half number 2 ahead and shooting 46%. I mean, talk about a side that really turned things around. They started to get much better, higher quality looks coming at the rim through Brown and also through Joel Emmanuel, who had that big 2-handed flush. It felt like that maybe started to turn the tide, at least in the momentum department. And then he had that big stick back offensive rebound and the layup as well. Really got this team off and running late. Stout crowd on hand on a Monday. It made their presence felt and heard, especially early on when Chicago State was just wreaking havoc defensively. Forcing turnovers at will, but these are the 2 worst teams in the NEC when it comes to defensive rebounding. And, well, the battle kind of in the trenches, if you will, has been won by Fairleigh Dickinson, +5 overall in the rebounding department, +6 in the defensive rebounding category. They've controlled the glass up until this point. And they've been a really good offensive rebounding team all year. Jalen Forrest trying to get going still. misfires. It's lashed off of him, and it'll go the other way. They trying to get going, just trying to re-energize himself after the early 9 points. Hasn't scored in a long time. 4 of 10 from the field. The junior from Decatur, Georgia. Made his 10th straight start today. One more point, he'll be in double figures for a 9th time already. Pocket bounce pass. Poked away by Spinelli, but a reach-it foul. Got Joel Emmanuel on the hand, it looked like. That'll actually go against Matthew Robinson Jr., excuse me. That'll be his first foul, team's first. Nobody in foul trouble at all on the FDU side. They only had 3 fouls in the first 20 minutes. So they defended nicely without fouling. That's massive. Crawford, Delancey, and Sunderland all have 2 already for the Cougars. Messiah gets double teamed, got cut off. Brown kicks it back out. Jones with the 3. He hasn't made a bucket yet today. 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 2 from distance. Just 3 points on Saturday after a 15-point effort in the game prior for St. Francis when he was money all day long. Noble Crawford with a nice little fadeaway. He's on the board with his first 2 points. Guy with a game-high 19 points just about a year ago. 1 year and 10 days ago in that win by 1 point in Hackensack, New Jersey against FDU. And a second two-handed slam tonight from Emmanuel. Great backdoor cut, a nice find and feed. His shots are coming right at the rim. 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. He's the second man into double figures with 10. Crawford calls his own number again. Chance out in transition, wide open look for Jones. Well, that would have been big for FDU in this second half if they could get him going. First in the NEC in made threes at 3-point percentage. First foul in the second half against the Knights. Now go against Terrence Brown. It'll be his second. It's amazing that we've gone this far and the home team still has not attempted a free throw. Got to imagine that's a topic of conversation that came up in the halftime locker room. Spinelli at 4 is running the show here up top. Nothing going it towards the interior. Spinelli trying to spin. Shot clock down to 3. And he gives it away. Dylan Jones races up the court with it. Brown dancing on his man and draws a reach-in foul against Robinson. That'll be his second, both coming in the last couple of minutes. And that's what Terrence Brown just does so well. Best scorer in the league, you could certainly make the case rather easily. Best player in the league up until this point in mid to late January. But his handles are second to none in the NEC. That's why he draws so many fouls. Put you off balance and on your heels, and that's when he's got you. Well, there's a turnover in response. Barber Bay whizzes it past Jones. Second half has started like the first half did. 2.5 minutes in, both teams with just one made bucket. Game that's been played in a small window. CSU's biggest lead 6. FDU's has been 4. Robinson Jr. sidestep, trying to look for his third 3. Tracked down by Emmanuel. Robinson's had a nice day. All of his shots coming from the perimeter. He shoots about 34% from distance. Emmanuel driving. Great pass this time. Extra pass out to Brown. Shot fake. Drives inside. Mid-range 2. No good. Kept alive by Messiah. Reestablished himself nicely. That's a heady play for the offensive rebound. And Dylan Jones will slow things down. Emmanuel isolated. Working on Delancey. Goes to the left hand off the glass. He remains perfect. 12 points on 5 of 5 shooting. His 14th game in double figures. The junior from New York, who averages 11.5 points a game. And a timeout called by Scott Spinelli. 6-point lead for FDU. They've got the momentum, but plenty of basketball left.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand.
Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for two.
Running her down. Renninger twirling through traffic. Wow.
Bounces down low to Karoma. Position, two-handed slam.
Williams has to put it up. He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left. To Blunt, looking for the three. Got it! Puts it on the deck and send it in. Miles Webb.
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in.
Bozy on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Well, we'll see what Scott Spinelli can draw up after this timeout. 6-point deficit for Chicago State. That matches the biggest lead the Cougars had back in the first half. FDU has sorted things out. Their early struggles offensively, it feels like that was a long time ago. Neither team shooting well from the perimeter. This game is, it feels like, going to be one down low in the paint. FDU, the best team in the NEC, defending the three, and the second best shooting it on the opposite side. Well, the three-point line has not played a major factor here so far today. Both teams shooting 25% or lower from the perimeter. Crawford into the corner. McCoy kicks it back around. His three on the shot clock. Robinson Jr. with the float. Left it short. Shot clock reset. Second look. That's short again. Delancey's sitting on 2 points only today. Great shot fake. Nissaga leads to a wide open reverse point. Quick bounce right back up and in. Blew the uncontested layup. Doesn't matter. The lead is ballooned up to 8. It looks like we'll see Cam Jernigan for the first time today at the next whistle. Jernigan gives it away, and that's fortunate for the Cougars that Terrence Brown just could not catch that cleanly. Jernigan in, Delancey out. Cam only played 3 minutes, didn't score last game. That's after a 7.6 rebound effort in the loss versus Stonehill. See what kind of spark and energy he could provide off the bench. Robinson also comes out. Spinelli back in. And we will take a timeout here. Got to imagine this is in respect to the shot clock, which, as it stands right now, is at 14. That was a prime chance in the midst of a 6-0 run over the last 3 minutes of change for FDU to get out and run. We haven't seen either side with too many chances on the fast break. That was a chance to get a steal going in a positive direction near midcourt. 33-25 the score. Two guys with 12 points doing almost all of the damage combined for the Knights. That's Brown, as you would expect, and Emmanuel. Their two leading scorers have led the charge on the Chicago State side of things. A team that doesn't have anybody coming in today averaging at double figures. It's Crawford and it's Forrest, both averaging 9.6 points per game, including Crawford, who's been coming off the bench mostly, of late at least. Forrest has 9. What has Crawford done? Just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. Man averaging just about 13 points per game over his last 5, but A little bit of a slow start from him so far. Scott Spinelli talked about, I love this quote earlier today, great players are made in the offseason, great teams are made in season. Well, you want to be playing your best basketball, kept conference play, and then certainly you want to be peaking and hot right at the right time, and that's coming into conference tournament week. Well, he feels like he's seen the consistent upward trajectory in terms of improvement from his team this year. That's been on display here in January, but what can they do in terms of a comeback effort here tonight? Trailing by 8 here at home. They have really had all sorts of problems against this defense. That's nowhere close. Shot clock violation. Well, the offense is first in the league in points per game. The defense is second to last in points allowed for FDU. But that defense is really ratcheted up well. Brown with a fine. Extra pass. Barber Bay still hasn't gotten going after making 7 threes last time out. He is 0 for 4 from distance. He's got 4 turnovers, too. Deficit's only 8 for the Cougars, but it feels like much more than that, the way that this game and this script has played out to this point. I mean, nothing coming inside the three-point line, almost a turnover. Shot clock down at 5. Somehow Fortis left alone. Too strong off the heel. It just looks easy out there defensively. Morris to Emmanuel. Thought about walking into a 3. Brown able to turn the corner, lost his footing and traveled with it. He has lost his feet out from underneath him. That's his 5th turnover. Teammates just checking on him, making sure he's okay. That's the guy they need to be healthy the rest of the way. And right on top of the logo, just lost his footing. Not sure you could put too much blame on Terrence Brown there. Had a career high 15 days ago, 28 in the win at Wagner. Surprising the career high is 28 only, and I say only because he is averaging nearly 22 a game. Talk about consistency. Troy McCoy Jr. What can he get going to the rim here? Gets double teamed, and Tyree Barber-Bay thought he got that clean on the way up. That's his second and the team's second as we take another look. Help side defense, and oh yeah, that's a lot of arm. I'm not sure there's too much you can complain about there. Much more movement now from Chicago State, trying to work it into the interior. That's a great couple of passes, but Jernigan couldn't handle the bounce pass from Crawford. Up ahead to Morris, hangs in the air, put it off the side of the backboard. Got stuck too far underneath. Chance to make it a double-digit lead for the first time today. And Brown, boy, back-to-back shots off the bottom of the backboard. Settle it out the other way, and he'll head to the free throw line. First free throw attempts of the night forthcoming for Chicago State, as it's another foul against Barber Bay. That'll be his 3rd and the 2nd in the last 2 possessions. Didn't do much there. But you put your hand, even without forcible contact, on a shooter like that, right square in the chest. They're probably going to call that 9 times out of 10. Saxby Sunderland, the junior from Arlington, Virginia. That's a rare miss. 82% free throw shooter. And 13 points, 3 dimes, and 3 rebounds last game. No points so far today, and that'll change right here. First made free throw of the night for the home team, and it comes just about 27 minutes in. Morris, great little high-low game there. Able to find Emmanuel, got fouled. Just great cuts off the ball from FDU. Manuel may be moving as well as anybody out there on the floor today. He's chasing a double-double, sitting on 12 and 8. And a turnover on the inbounds. No buckets in the last 6 minutes for Chicago State. They're all of their last 6 from the floor. So they could use all the free throws they can get at this point, you feel like. Robinson into the corner. Crawford. High-low game. Jernigan turns, faces, draws the double. Almost got stripped back out. Spinelli fakes one way, drives through the middle, lays it off. Jernigan, who had it blocked away. Met at the apex. Messiah backing down the smaller Spinelli, kicks it back out. Morris, and he cans the three. His second triple of the night. The lead at double figures for the first time. Morris is 25% from distance on the year, only 9 made threes. He's got 2. And now a chance on the run out. Dylan Jones deflected pass, and that's going to be a foul on the floor against Gabe Spinelli. Chicago State's got just 3 points here in the second half. They've been outscored 9-3, and the deficit has grown to the biggest of the night. It's 10 for the visiting Knights.
Everybody, I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. LIU's Malachi Davis is the NEC Player of the Week for the second time this season. His 27-point outburst on 12 of 18 shooting turned back Stonehill. He nailed 53% from the field over 2 games. The Rookie of the Week is Jeremy Clayville of St. Francis. The freshman averaged 15 points and more than 4 assists over 2 victories. He also hit on 43% from downtown. On the women's side, Player of the Week honors for the second time go to CCSU's Belle Lanford. She put up a career-high 37 points with 9 rebounds to lead a comeback win over Wagner. This after going for 25 and 11 to stop LIU. Chicago State's Ayanna Culver goes back-to-back with the Rookie Award. The freshman had 16 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists against Stonehill. Catch free live conference action on NECFrontRow.com, and remember to follow the season on X and NEC Sports and the web at northeastconference.org.
Dominant stretch of basketball over the last 10 minutes of the first half, and the first 8 minutes plus here in half number 2 for Fairleigh Dickinson. Having a lot of bucket in the last 7 minutes plus. They forced 4 turnovers over that stretch. Their defense is just not allowing any kind of easy look for Chicago State. The Cougars' offense has just gone missing here. 11 of 44 from the field, shooting 25%. That man right there, Terrence Brown, who missed the last game, he's got a game-high tie, 12 points to go with his teammate Joel Emmanuel. They're trying to add to the biggest advantage of the night here after the under-12 timeout. Got a couple of big shots from Jameel Morris, the sophomore from Willingboro, New Jersey here today. There he is, losing the basketball, but keeps it alive. McCoy hounding him. Deflected pass. Back to Morris, looking for his 3rd three. And that's a foul against Nushaya. His first, kind of a careless one there under the basket. Been a strange night for Bismarck Nushaya. Averages 8 points a game. Only got 2 points, but he's nearing a double-double himself. He's got 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Had a game earlier this year where he had 11 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. Was 1 dime shy of a triple-double at Wagner earlier this month. That is a guy who can do it all. Facilitates, could shoot, protects the rim so well. Delancey, there's the easy look Chicago State needed. Delancey gets his second field goal, 4 points to go with 8 rebounds. Back to a single-digit deficit. Just trying to chip away, still plenty of time left. And this time met on the way up. Emmanuel rejected. Quincy Allen. Matchup, second time is the charm for Emmanuel, though. His third dunk of the night. Blocked on the first attempt, this time with the up fake. Got his man in the air and just whizzed past him for the jam. This is a game where sometimes you got to have a short-term memory. McCoy turns and fires up an air ball. Joel Emmanuel forgot immediately about that first attempt. Brown's been hitting the deck a ton. He's been fouled plenty of times. Great shit here. That'll go against McCoy, who's had a tough stretch. Aaron Ball did 3, and then a reach hit here. It was rather blatant. That's his second foul. It's the team's 5th. Manuel this time trying to drive it and just lost the basketball. And Crawford, I mean, that was virtually going to be a 1-on-4 if he wanted to drive it. Just lost it on the crossover. That's got to be frustrating for Coach Spinelli. They're really winning the turnover battle, but that's an unforced one. And it comes trailing by 10 with 10 to go. Isaiah thought about the 3, trying to work it inside to Emmanuel. Instead, skips it to Brown. And who's this last off of? It's going to be Quincy Allen. It'll stay here. Nobody in double figures yet for Chicago State. Now it checks out. Spinelli back in. Spinelli has not scored today. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He's got a couple of fouls. Saxby Sunderland, the lone man in the game with 3 personals. Brown will pull it out himself. It's the switch. They try to work it around to Nisaya. Great defense from Forrest. Didn't have the size, but able to hop in the passing lane. Great denial. Now splits a couple of navy blue jerseys. And it ends up with a 3 that's buried by Noble Crawford. That could be a big swing for Chicago State. Forrest gets the 3. It's the assist on the offensive side, and Crawford hits a big 3, his first of the day. It's 5 points for the big man. And a reach-it foul at the 3-point line, drawn by Nisaya. Another one that'll go against Delancey. That's his 3rd. He'll join Sunderland. If you're Chicago State, you're just a couple more buckets. It stops away from really making this tight. But if you're Fairleigh Dickinson and you can get a few buckets in a row here, its lead already feels rather daunting with this game being so low scoring. Buckets have been few and far between. Hard to come by today. Delancey trying to hold his ground. Nisaya blocked away, but it stays here. Reynolds reloads. Emmanuel float game around and out. Strong rebound by Delancey. Just plucked that out of the sky with his right hand. Forrest up ahead. Robinson Jr. in the corner. Hits the triple. Big time shot from the junior. A great stretch here from Chicago State right when they needed it most. Just a 4-point game. We're at halftime here on the south side of Chicago.
Frazier starting to break all the way. He dunks with the right hand.
Here is Talley with the basketball. Nice feed underneath the Parrish for 2.
Running her down. Renninger twirling through traffic. Wow.
Bounces down low to Caroma. Position, 2-handed slam.
Williams has to put it up.
Oh,
He feed it in. Jusianic, 3 seconds left. To Blunt, looking for the three. Got it! Puts it on the deck! And send it in! Miles Webb!
Oh, great pass.
Great play and laying it up and in.
Bozy on the drive against Dogs. Flips it up and in with 1.8 to go.
For years, they competed against each other. But every 4 years, they take on the world. They represent our schools and our country. We are proud to say, Olympians are made here.
Today, the Northeast Conference commemorates the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King's legacy serves to remind us that progress in racial equality cannot be reached from our comfort zones. The NEC echoes Dr. King's words, quote, that justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, end quote. To carry on his legacy, the conference encourages NEC student athletes, coaches, and fans to speak up and share their unique stories of bringing about change through activism and advocacy. FDU with the lead on the road here, trying to move to 3-2 in conference, trying to propel their way to a 3-0 start away from home in the NEC as well. Team that's also very battle-tested. They played 2 ACC opponents, 2 Big Ten foes, a couple teams in the Big East, a couple teams in the A-10 as well. There's the spin, came up empty, trying to drop the hammer down, but it's free throws for Joel Emmanuel. They've been going to him frequently here in the second half. This time off the dribble. The last time he tried to drive, he lost the basketball. This time he almost threw it down right on top of C.J. Delancey. Second trip to the line. He's 2 for 2 on his first opportunity. Still well below 60% on the season, though, for the charity stripe. 42 for 74, and that somehow found its way down through the net. That almost got sandwiched right between the back of the rim and the bottom of the glass. All 4 for 4 from Emmanuel today. 15 points, that's a game high to go with 8 rebounds. Tied with Nasiah for the team lead today on the glass. Back up to 6. Crawford up top. Gets it right back from Forrest. That's a brutal angle to try to bounce it towards Delancey. Emmanuel got a hand on it, does stay here. You got to get further down towards the corner if you want to try to send a bounce pass into the high post. That feed had a little English on it. Maybe fortunate it didn't end with a turnover. 9 turnovers for the Cougars, 16 for the Knights here tonight. We're under 8 to play. And that pass to nobody in particular. Brown racing away with it. And the putback slam. Bismarck Nasiah, just his second field goal of the day. Spinelli with great defense in transition. There's a much-needed bucket on the other end from Crawford, which Spinelli got a hand on that initial look from Brown. But it was all for naught. Terrence Brown penetrating, and he's another foul. And that'll go against Delancey. That will be his 5th. Just a little overzealous there. The junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas, picks up his 5th. His night is done. His race is run. 4 points, 9 rebounds on 2 of 5 shooting. Fouls out in 20 minutes. And another free throw miss from Brown. He is 0 for 2. Just under 82%, 6th in the conference for the charity stripe. Great backdoor cut, killer find, and the finish from Gabe Spinelli. That's all about the pass. It's down to a 4-point deficit. So big front end of a 1-and-1 missed. 8 fouls for Chicago State already in this half. Reynolds finds Brown in amongst the trees, tries to coerce it up and in. Can't finish. Nisaya has it turned away. Chicago State a chance to race out in transition. Spinelli Euro step and it's swatted away. Bismarck Nisaya. He has been a force. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and yet another rejection for the big man. Excuse me, that goes for Barber Bay. There were a few guys in there contesting. Crawford, and that twirls out. That's a big miss. Had a chance there to make it a one-possession game. Nisaya does have 3 blocks today, though. That was the first for Tyree Barber Bay. Brown slowing things down. 6.5 to play. Crossover. Barber Bay puts it on the deck, drives baseline, hangs in the air, and turns it over. FDU is just 1 of their last 8 from the floor. There's a turnover. They missed the front end of a 1-and-1. They're keeping Chicago State in it. Now it's a 2-point game. Jalen Forrest on the back door. Chicago State taking advantage. The back door is open right now. Down to a 2-point game. Terrence Brown kicks into the corner. Reynolds, great feed right back. Brown hangs in the air and hits the reverse. That's just beautiful basketball. Scintillating stuff offensively. You love to see that ball movement. Ball just never stops moving. Barely hits the floor. Crawford fakes the handoff, pulls up and hits. Back and forth we go. All of a sudden, both teams landed some punches here. Emmanuel driving, lays it off, and that's an and one. McCoy picks up the foul. Reynolds with the bucket. And that is a freshman mistake. His man already well past him, just reached out, puts a hand on the shoulder. Any coach will tell you if you're going to foul in that situation, you got to get a good piece of him, make sure he doesn't make the bucket, or just let him go. The worst thing you can do is just tap him on the way up. That's a layup he's going to make well over 90% of the time. Back up to a 5-point advantage. Mark that play down. Third foul against McCoy as well. Chicago State have another answer. They've made 6 of their last 8. Spinelli driving past Emmanuel. And stepped on the baseline. He thought he got pushed, but no foul. Tenth turnover for Chicago State. They average 14.5 per game. Reynolds looks like he got hacked there instead. It's a foul just seconds later. This one goes against Matthew Robinson Jr. That is the 10th team foul, and it's double bonus time for the Knights. But if you're going to foul somebody, Emmanuel is the guy you want if you're a Cougars fan going to the line, even though he's 4 of 4 today. Joel Emmanuel, the junior, trying to make it 5 for 5, and he does. And that's maybe his best free throw of the day. 29 free throw attempts in the last 3 games coming in. This will be his 6th attempt tonight. 13 plus points in 4 straight. Tied a career high with 24 points 8 days ago against St. Francis. There's his first miss of the day, but it's a foul on the floor against Crawford. Nisaya keeps the possession alive, and now he'll head to the line. The offensive glass has been purely dominated by FDU. That is not going to go down as an offensive rebound, but they do have 14, and they're plus 6 in that category. Nisaya just a 66% free throw shooter, but boy, FDU has made a few in this half that have not looked apart, but they've fallen down. Made the adjustment, swishes the second, hits them both. So it's a 3-point possession on a 3 of 4 effort from the line. Back up to an 8-point game. What do you go to here if you're Chicago State? Noble Crawford has had a good stretch here offensively. Spinelli trying to space things out. Get some off-ball movement. Trying to take Morris one-on-one. Gets to the baseline and turns it over again. Nisaya surging ahead. Finds Emmanuel. Kicks it back out. Open corner 3. Well, that might have been game if that went down. McCoy spinning off balance. Just lost the basketball. 6-0 run in Chicago State. Is completely disjointed offensively. That's 3 straight empty possessions. I guess that counts as a shot. They didn't have a shot the last 2. Emmanuel, sky's clear, and he gets the and 1. Thought he turned the corner and was going to have a lane for a jam. Got fouled on the way up and floated it high in the air. He gets the bucket. 8-0 run, a chance to make it 9 unanswered for the Knights. Emmanuel hacked on the way up. That somehow gets this to fall with the left hand.
Everybody, I'm Paul Dottino with the NEC Notebook, delivered to you by WB Mason. LIU's Malachi Davis is the NEC Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. His 27-point outburst on 12 of 18 shooting turned back Stonehill. He nailed 53% from the field over 2 games. The Rookie of the Week is Jeremy Clayville of St. Francis. The freshman averaged 15 points and more than 4 assists over 2 victories. He also hit on 43% from downtown. On the women's side, Player of the Week honors for the 2nd time go to CCSU's Belle Lanford. She put up a career-high 37 points with 9 rebounds to lead a comeback win over Wagner. This after going for 25 and 11 to stop LIU. Chicago State's Ayanna Culver goes back-to-back with the Rookie Award. The freshman had 16 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists against Stonehill. Catch free live conference action on NECFrontRow.com, and remember to follow the season on X at NEC Sports and the web at NortheastConference.org.
3:44 to go. It's winning time for these sides, and Fairleigh Dickinson has had the lead the entirety of the second half. They trail by 6 with 10 to play in the first half, and it's really been all night since then. They are plus 18 in terms of points in the paint, and that's a very notable margin because they were minus 24. They only had 18 total paint points last time out in the 11-point loss at home for Central Connecticut State. 32 of their 52 have come in the paint, and then you had 8 that have come at the free throw line. Only made 4 threes. Team that's second in made threes per game. They hit just about 9. But this man right there, Joel Emmanuel, having a day from the charity stripe. Six of 7. He's got a game-high 20 points now. It's got to come right now for the Cougars. Back down by double figures. They need some buckets and a few stops. Crawford turns, lets it fly, and it's too strong. Emmanuel lost it. Pinballing around, and Nisaya comes away with it. Great outlet up ahead to Brown. Racing out in transition. Stripped on the way up, no call. 3:05 to play. Forrest hesitates, gets all the way into the cup with the left-handed layup. So FTU elected to push the pace. Brown lost it. It ends up with a bucket on the other end. 7 turnovers for Terrence Brown today. They could take their sweet time, though. Up by 9. Certainly in no hurry. Brown loses it again, trying to cross over against McCoy. Fight for the ball. And it's going to be a kickball. And it's Chicago State basketball. Bismarck Messiah called for the kick. The on-ball defending was something Scott Spinelli was very confident coming into play today when it comes to his guard play against Terrence Brown. And Brown is right now 7.5 points below his season average, and he's turned the ball over 7 times, and that was inches away from an 8th. Relatively speaking, they have shut down the sophomore for Minneapolis. Just haven't had an answer on the offensive side of things. Running out of time, but still 2:30 to go. Jalen Forrest leading the way with 13 points. McCoy was out there playing some sound defense with 4 fouls. A trio of Cougars out there with him with 3, Sunderland, Robinson, and Crawford. Free throws will play a major factor down the stretch. FDU's only got 4 fouls in this half. They only have 7 for the game. So they have really nobody sniffing foul trouble. Barba Bay does have 3, but shouldn't matter too much with this little time left to go. There's our production crew. They're pretty thrilled with some Chicago Bears news that was announced earlier today. Generally the best news on the gridiron when it comes to Chicago pro football these days does happen in the offseason. So it's right on time. Mid to late January, this is when they make their heyday. 9-point game. FDU coming off back-to-back losses at home versus St. Francis and Central Connecticut State. Trying to move to 3-0 on the road before they have another road tilt on Sunday at Stonehill. Trying to see this one across the finish line. They've outscored Chicago State by 5 in this second half. They've outscored the Cougars by 15 over the last 28 minutes. It's been a quieted crowd. It was raucous early, especially with what this team was able to produce on the defensive side of things. It's also been a good time of year generally in January for Cubs fans these days, let's face it. Cougars need a bucket and a stop. Knights trying to salt this one away and move to 3-2 in the NEC. Trying to pick up win number 7 on the year for a team that went 15-17 last year. The Knights were 9-7 in the NEC. Chicago State, as we know, was an independent last year. Back in a conference, inaugural season in the NEC. Looking for answers here late. Matthew Robinson. Great little float game from Jalen Forrest. Got his man in the air and beat him into the lane. Full court press. They would love to force a 20th turnover. Heady play from Messiah. Had a chance maybe to go and have a contested layup, but pulls it back. It's a turnover anyways. Chicago State comes away with it. Forrest racing ahead, squeezing through a couple of defenders for the layup. And this time it'll stay with FDU. But they will take a second look. They'll go over to the monitor. That turnover goes against Terrence Brown. He's got more turnovers than buckets. 6 made field goals, 8 turnovers. Brown and Barba Bay, the 2 leading scorers on this Knights team, combined 13 turnovers today. That's as many as Chicago State. And what can Scott Spinelli draw up here? He's got the board out. Both coaches do, but if you're Spinelli, you might have 2 plays drawn up here. One for defense and one if this is overturned. Either way, you got to think some time had to have come off the shot clock there. It's at 30. 5-point margin. Cougars on a 6-0 run over the last minute and 22 seconds. And it almost seems unfathomable to say out loud, but if you're Chicago State, you might want the basketball in the hands of Terrence Brown. Man who's 5th in the country at scoring, but has been a walking turnover here today. And generally, his turnovers, almost all of them, if not all, have been live ball turnovers. They have led to Chicago State chances the other way. Long look. This is a call you got to get right, and you got to make sure it's an accurate one, and the call on the floor will stand. So they got it right the first time. Just a 2-possession game. Stop in a bucket, and things get mighty interesting. Braden Reynolds, the junior from Pittsburgh, will inbound. That was almost bounced on the sideline in front of us. Arbabe will get it across in time. And this will stay here. County defense from Crawford. It is double bonus if FDU does draw a foul. Great bounce pass to Saya, blocked away on the way up, but a foul against Forrest. Emmanuel with a good find. The two big men for FDU combining. It's going to be 2 shots either way. And that is a lot of arm on the way in. They got that call certainly correct. Much to Forrest's chagrin. That's his 2nd foul, and a free throw no good. Free throw line's been a struggle for FDU. They're just 9 of 15 today. Team that shoots just over 70% from the line, 4th in the conference. Just about middle of the pack. Sunderland comes out. Forrest also replaces Allen on that low block inside of Reynolds. That's a big free throw. Up to a 6-point lead, but still just 2 possessions if you're CSU. Cougars have 5 made threes, just 20% from the perimeter today, though. Trying to work it over to Crawford. Takes the handoff. Crawford working on Reynolds. Kicks it out, McCoy. Sidestep, great defense from Nisaya. And the 3 falls short for Quincy Allen. Big time stop for FDU. Brown in transition, hands it off. More free throws this time for Emmanuel. FDU still electing to push the pace. Chicago State was going to have to foul either way. Allen picks up his first. 14th foul of the half for Chicago State, just 4 for Fairleigh Dickinson. But Emmanuel has just had a day. 21 points on 7 of 8 from the line, 7 of 9 from the floor to go with 8 rebounds. Nearing that season high of 24. He's now up to 22 on the day. Desperation time for Chicago State. Forrest trying to create, gets into the lane, and it falls out. Morris comes away with it. That might have been the last gasp chance for the Cougars. Could not get the friendly bounce on the home rim. So Jameel Morris will go to the free throw line. His first trip there today, the sophomore. Not frequently out there at a time like this at the line. He's just 9 of 14 now on the season. Was 0 for 5, didn't score last game, had 3 fouls in 15 minutes, and a couple big threes today. And he splits the pair. McCoy penetrating, gets all the way in. We'll see if this is on the floor or not. Emil Morris with the foul. And it's on the floor, and it's the 5th foul, so no free throws. I mean, that's a solid end result if you're FDU. Foul on the floor as Scott Spinelli will use a timeout. Final timeout for Chicago State comes with under 32 seconds left. They would need a frantic comeback. And a miraculous one, really, at that. Down by 9. Staring down the barrel of a loss here. What would be a 1-2 homestand. This felt like, in terms of, as close as you can get in basketball, kind of a rubber game at home for Chicago State. They didn't play a game here at the Jones Convocation Center for about 2 months. They get 3 straight. Here the Cougars and their home faithful. You'd love to go 2-1 in this stretch, but it looks like it'll be 1-2. And for FDU, it's just a reversal. Well on their way to 3-0 on the road in the NEC. And they are 0-2 at home. Had a great 2-0 start, one at Wagner and then at Lemoyne before back-to-back home losses. And that's on the baseline. Crawford turns it over. Morris and Emmanuel combined, forcing the issue there in the corner. Basically a football play to get it in here to Nasiah. Fairleigh Dickinson is about to attempt their 21st and 22nd free throws of the night. Chicago State only made 1 trip to the line all day. Saxby Sunderland, the junior, got there earlier this half. The 82% free throw shooter split a pair. That is kind of this game in microcosm. Chicago State came in. Scott Spinelli wanted this team to be aggressive, get downhill with Gabe Spinelli back in the lineup. Back-to-back games. Did a great job of that on Saturday. When you get downhill, you get paint touches. It leads to open threes, and it leads to trips to the free throw line. Well, this has been a sound performance. A great second half for Fairleigh Dickinson. Their leader, Terrence Brown, gets the rebound and will salt this one away in his return after missing their game on Saturday. 14 points for Brown. He did turn the ball over 8 times, but it did not matter in a double-digit